What's up, everybody? Hope everyone is having a great night. We got Miami Hurricanes football after dark, another episode this week. I'm here with my co-host, Northfresh. We got Don. He's on Twitter. Go check him out. We also got 247 Canes as well. Highly active on YouTube. Has a lot of projects on the side going on with Miami Hurricanes football, so look out for that as well. But, man, we're 8 days away. We're Duke Johnson days away from the first game of the season. It doesn't feel like it, but I think as we get closer and closer, people start smiling a little more, get more excited. Man, so I can't wait. Northfresh, what do you got for us tonight, man?
Man, I figured we'll just jump into it, man. I mean, we got UAB coming up here. This is a team that we got a lot of fans out there that are, I'm seeing some people predicting 60 points. We're going to put up 55 points, all that stuff. I'm not quite jumping into that fully yet. I still expect UAB to give us a decent game. We should walk away from it by the end of the, third, fourth quarter and be pretty safe. But I'm just not quite as sold as some people are on this. There's 9-win team last year. It's definitely something that we didn't even get close to. Not quite sure what their quarterback situation is like this year, but from what I've understood, they seem to reload at that position pretty well, and they always find guys that fit their scheme. So we got to be prepared for that as well. As far as how we're feeling about it and players to look out for, Don, who you kind of watching out for in this game that's going to really make an impact for us offensively?
Cam Harris.
Yeah.
That's going to be my answer every week. That dude, this is money year for him, man. This money year. I expect him to put up to be Cam. I expect him to do what he's supposed to do.
What do you think as far as kind of numbers you'd want to see from him week one?
150 yards. I said 150 yards. I think that's good for him. And hopefully he has that by the fourth quarter so we can get those young guys in the game and like Knight and Cheney and get those guys some snaps because they need the reps this year, man, because a big year from Cam means he's gone. We're pretty much only going to have Cam for 1 year if he does what he's supposed to do. If he does what I need him to do, what we need him to do as fans, right, he's gone. And rightfully so. He needs to go. He's good.
How do you feel about us opening up on a Thursday?
I like it because I'm not going to have to work the next day. It's my birthday. It's 9/11.
There you go, man. Well, happy birthday.
So I expect to be up late messing with y'all that night, and then I'm not going to go to work the next day because it's my birthday, and then we have the weekend to razz on everybody else and feel good about ourselves. You know how it is. You know how we are.
Yeah. 24/7, Kane, what do you got for us, bud?
So I'm excited to see our defense. Half of us are, we can't wait to see our brand new offense, but I can't wait to see what our linebackers are all about, what these young guys are ready to do and step up on the very first game, set the tone for us on defense. So look out for guys like, the usual, Gervin Hall. I'm hoping he starts because it's one of my favorite players on the team.
That's what I do.
Looking to see if our corners are willing to step up, to the occasion. UAB, they might not be a, marquee Power 5 team, but they're still, they're still in Alabama, so they got a pretty good recruiting base down there. So, they still got some playmakers that could do some things. So I'm looking forward to our defense and what Blake Baker and Manny Diaz is going to do, continuing forward with this D-line, with Roche, with Jalen Phillips. We got a squad, man. I just want to see him perform.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Who on the interior are you looking forward to seeing on that defensive line?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Who on the interior are you looking forward to seeing on the defensive line week one?
The obvious. Everybody's pretty much on Nesta. I really want to see him break out this year, especially having the two monsters next to him,
Right.
But I'll give you a sleeper. I want to see Jordan Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's the thing with our defensive tackles. I think they probably played their best game against Florida State the past season, and that's when Gregory Rousseau had, that 7-sack game, that crazy number, So I think our defensive ends are going to open up the game for our defensive tackles, to eat. They're going to play very well this upcoming season. Even if they had a quiet fall, I'm not too worried, because once, week 1, it's UAB. I think, regardless, we should take care of business. But, just get them in the game, get them, get some reps, some snaps. And I think eventually over time, with the production of our defensive ends, such as Javari Harvey, Jalen Phillips, Quincy Roche, I think our defensive tackles will have a nice season. I think if Nesta has a full, healthy season, we'll be fine. I think Nesta will have a good year. Just be healthy and play every single game. I think we'll be fine at defensive tackle. I wanted to add on running backs. We only have 3 scholarship running backs that are healthy, guys. Robert Burns, I think he's recovering from an injury. Yeah. So we only really have 3 healthy running backs. So, I think just a healthy season would be great because that's kind of a slim number, I want to say. And then the other 2 have never played college football full season in their life before. So we are, in a sense, in my opinion, numbers-wise, a little bit low, a little bit inexperienced. But Jalen Knighton has been having an amazing fall camp, and everyone speaks very highly of him. And that's who I'm excited to see game 1. It kind of reminds me of Stacey Coley's debut at Miami. Highly touted recruit out of Broward County, comes in. Man, I'm just really excited to see what the true freshman can do.
Yeah.
We finally got a guy that we can get into space and create. I mean,
right.
If we've been old school for so long now, just running a pro style offense for the most part. And I mean, we've watched it. We have been our own worst enemy. We've shot ourselves in the foot. We've hurt ourselves more than any other program could ever hurt us. We've done it to ourselves, and that's what burns, man. That's what really burns deep down inside is we all know, and we've all seen it, and it's been a freaking disaster. It's been an absolute freaking disaster. This UAB game, it's important to me because, this is supposed to be the turnaround season. We got a new quarterback, new offensive coordinator. UAB could be the stepping stone to something pretty great, in my opinion. I mean, we got to get past them and get right into Louisville the following week. So there's no time to lack off. We're getting the ACC schedule right down our throat immediately.
Yep.
So, I mean, this UAB team, man, I just hope our boys really aren't sleeping on them. I really hope they aren't sleeping. And I hope Diaz does everything he can to light a fire under their ass, dude, so we see it right from the jump. I don't want to see us have a bad first half and have to come back in the second half.
When this is going to be a good thing is we have a quarterback in Derek King that's a leader. This is when having that kind of leadership at the quarterback position, this is when that helps because he's going to know what it takes. This is not his first time out there. This is when that kind of leadership, man, takes you to the next level. This is why if this was a first-year starter, I'd be worried, because this is right. Different. But with the season, everything going on, the schedule, the shortened season, I mean, all those things, all those variables you plug in, this is when the top elite guys step up, and that's what you get in Derek King, man. This is when it really pays off.
If I could add some 2 cents real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not only that, it's just we finally have an offense and a guy like Rhett Lastly that we could actually, everybody's excited for. Like we've been asking for a spread type offense for so long. We finally got it. I think everybody's like, exhaled. We're kind of relaxed about it. It helps out the team. It's going to help out our O-line. It's going to help out on everything. So I think it's more than just a quarterback. It's the whole system, the coaches, everything. It's just there's just a vibe that's just positive, and I think that's going to translate, into the games. It's not like before where it was more like, oh, we're worried. And Manny, you remember his first words in a practice on the very first practice or very first scrimmage of last season. It was like, oh, I'm not excited at all. I'm worried. Those were the words that came out of Manny's mouth. We heard this year the complete opposite. So
one thing is,
I think that just speaks of volumes.
Right. And one thing I'm going to be looking at during the game, with our up-tempo offense is, how long do our drives last for? There's no reason why our drive should last for 7 minutes long, take up half a quarter. We should be running a very quick and fast-paced offense to score. Mm-hmm. That was the problem we've had in Miami under Mark Richt, Dan Enos. We can go on for days, okay, is those drives that we have as an offense that take so long to settle for 3 points, for a touchdown. Let's get a quick offense and let's score fast. That's Miami Hurricanes football. We have a very fast personnel, so we should be playing fast. We should not be playing a power football style with 10-second play action calls. There's no reason why we should be doing I formation, coming out of the huddle. We should always go no huddle, and just play fast nonstop and rotating a lot of receivers. That's something as well I would like to see. We have a very big wide receiver group that's very talented. We should rotate them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing the two young guys making plays already for us, Keyshawn Smith and Xavier Restrepo.
Right.
Sounds like they've done nothing but impress the staff so far. And I was a big fan of Restrepo from the jump when I saw him. His footwork, his athleticism, his hands, his IQ, just the type of mental makeup he has. That's a Kane, baby. Like we got ourselves a Kane, and we got ourselves a future beast in the slot, I think.
A lot of these young guys, I think they're pushing, the older guys to step up. I think we can all agree Mark Pope the past couple of years, he hasn't fit the right offensive personnel. Mike Harley's kind of been up and down. Jeremiah Payton, he did not get to play this past season. Coach Stubblefield said he was not ready. Let's find out. Let's find out what these guys got in this new offense. We just saw James Prochet, who just got drafted by the Ravens, I believe. With Rhett Lashlee in this offense, he had over 100 receptions. Well, I haven't seen that in Miami in God knows when. Have a receiver with over 100 receptions, So just to see, receivers put up video game numbers, I want to see it at Miami. I think it's possible. I think we have the athletes for it. So why not? Why not us?
Who's going to be that guy for them? Who's going to take the reins? Who's going to be that number one guy that we can go to week after week? Because one of our biggest issues I've seen is consistency. We have players and we've seen them make plays. We've seen flashes of elite play from a lot of them, but I haven't seen week to week consistency, especially at the wide receiver position.
Nope.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm excited about, because if you look at Rhett Lashlee's tenure, wherever he's gone, his receivers has done well. I know we mainly focus on the leading receivers, but it's all the receivers eat under Rhett Lashlee's offense, and that's what I'm excited about. So I'm excited for Mallory, I'm excited for Wiggins, I'm excited for Pope, I'm excited for every single receiver, because I know and I'm confident that they're going to eat in this offense. It's not going to be that one guy, one trick pony at like every single year or anything. It's going to be, there's going to be multiple guys who are going to be multiple threats at all times on the field, and not to mention the threat at quarterback, the threat at running back, the threat at tight end, the threat at, every single position. We're actually an offense is going to put, we're actually going to put scare into people, which that's what it really comes down to. When you have to account for every single person on the field 100% of the time, it makes your job as a defensive coordinator that much harder.
Yep. It's funny you mentioned that 24. As you were talking, before you started making your point, I went and looked at Smu Stats as you're talking, man. Y'all, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but last year SMU's offensive leaders, they had a 1,200-yard rusher. You mentioned a 1,200-yard receiver. The second leading receiver had 800 yards. Third leading 700, and they had a guy with 400 yards.
God, man, I haven't seen those numbers at Miami. I don't think I've ever seen those numbers in my lifetime.
1,200, 800, 700, 400 receivers, and a 1,000-yard rusher. Michelle threw for almost 4,000 yards.
We're seeing.
Yes,
I mean, that's productivity in the pass and run game. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, guys.
Disrespectful.
This is really it. We wanted this for so long. Hopefully, we have it.
Oh, God.
You know what's even crazier to think about? I think it's debatable, but I think the ACC Coastal may be weaker than the AAC.
Yeah.
Could be.
I mean,
I'm not gonna say that out loud.
Right. I mean, but
I don't believe that, but it's the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so everybody sees it different. But yeah, you do have a point.
Has there been a worse Power 5, I don't know what you want to call it, like our little conference, the Coastal? Has even the Pac-12 seems like they've outplayed us?
Yeah.
They've got really good
You
coaches.
see,
Pac-12's got some coaches.
here's the thing that people don't seem to realize. Like we talk about losing to Duke and losing to all these teams, but people don't realize that Duke has majorly improved over the years.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I mean, in my opinion, Duke has improved. North Carolina has improved. A bunch of teams in the ACC Coastal have, consistently improved every year. Yeah, sure, you get your 1 or 2 years where a team, has a downfall, but they have improved. It's not like 5 or, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, maybe more than 5 years, but maybe like 10 years ago, we'd be talking about Duke, or we'd be talking about, several teams, and we're like, whoa, do they even belong with 3 wins in their record?
Right. I
So, go ahead.
No, like you said, there are teams that improve. I just think we haven't seen one team kind of dominate for 3 to 4 years or, 2 years. I mean, I think every year there's a new team that represents the ACC Coastal. And it's kind of like by default, they get 4 losses and it's like a 3-way tiebreaker. Or like they've lost to like 2 other teams in the past that finished second or third. Or Miami always loses to like the team that represents the ACC Coastal somehow.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a team to kind of rise to the crop and really represent the ACC Coastal against Clemson. And Miami's been given a softball, to be that team. I think the ACC is waiting. I think a lot of people are waiting for Miami because it is a sleeping giant. I just hope it can happen with Rhett Lashlee as our offensive coordinator. I think it can happen.
Yeah, the potential's there.
Oh, yeah. We've been given every opportunity that you could possibly ever wish for in the NCAA. It's not like we've got, like Paul, you were saying, it's not like we have a consistent contender in the Coastal that we have to deal with year after year. I mean, UNC might become a little more of that as things go on. We'll see what Mac Brown does. I'm not fully sold yet, but they're doing some things. But, I mean, how much easier of a time could we have asked for? I mean, we came to the ACC expecting to kind of run the ACC, and we've had nothing but a cake schedule, and we've done the exact opposite. Yeah. Like we've been handed nothing but cake schedule after cake schedule. Every preseason we look at it and we go, well, there's no way that we can lose this game. There's no way we can lose that game. But yet we go off and we freaking lose it, man. I mean, the Georgia Tech loss was one of those games for me last year. I saw no way in hell they should have beat us with a new coach. Nothing but triple option players on offense. They weren't even running the triple option anymore. And they came out and out-hustled us every single snap of the game. That's what bothered me the most. That's why I'm worried about UAB still. I'm worried about getting out-hustled.
Right. But that's not going to happen. And I'm gonna bring in logic into it. Last year, we had kicking issues. Yep. Okay, we all know that. I don't have to mention the name, but, it was Manny's first year, so obviously there's going to be rookie head coach mistakes. We didn't have such a great offense. We had a freshman starting at left tackle. We had a lot of issues. We had inconsistency in the quarterback position. No offense, but that it is what it is. We gotta be real with it. And we had our hiccups on defense as well. And that's attributed to a first year defensive coordinator as well. So I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to say that that those bye week issues and most of the things that we had problems with last year, they were at least addressed, in the off season. We got ourselves a new kicker. We have a stud at quarterback now. We have a brand new offensive system. Mining, it doesn't, people were expecting something great, but we also got to understand this is the first year under the system. It's only going to improve game by game. So we have to be patient, but it's there. The recipe is there. It just needs to start rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So you truly believe then that all of those first year mistakes we saw from Diaz last year, they've all been fixed?
I think they've been addressed. I don't think necessarily all of them fixed. I think they've been addressed.
For this upcoming season, or short-term addressed or long-term addressed?
Well, we could say long-term and short-term.
Okay.
They've been addressed. Have they been fixed? That is it's to be seen.
Right, of course. It's kind of still that off-season hype that we saw this past season, or is it different?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I feel like it's in a sense similar to the last off-season hype that we saw with the whole new Miami bringing in transfer portal players. In a sense, a new quarterback. It didn't work out, but I think is it different in your opinion or similar from last off-season?
I think it's different. It certainly feels different, at least to just to be real, because I could say it's different, but then to be proven wrong. But I am going to tell you the problems at hand for Miami moving forward were the kicking, the quarterback position, and some questions here and there about linebacker. So I think those have been addressed. I think our biggest glaring area of opportunity is the linebacker position. So I'm hoping that our youngsters step up to the occasion. So at least for the time being, I want to say they've been addressed and they will be, hopefully fixed.
Okay.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no. I mean, offensive line still, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
How are they going to perform? I mean, you don't give up 9 sacks against Duke and just, this season, we're going to, get the ball out quicker. I'm still curious about that. I think D.R. King's going to have to run for his life a couple times because of broken plays, but hey, let's see with Garen Justice, new offensive line coach. It seems like we're developing a second team, offensive line unit as well. But that's a project in itself. So that's
well. Here's the thing, if I may. Here's the thing. We just got a stud transfer at right tackle. So that solidifies one position for sure, and we know that he's a proven guy.
Yeah. Has he been cleared? Okay, so he's good to go. Cool.
For what I understand, he's good to go.
Okay, cool.
Please, someone, if I'm wrong or if anything, please mention it.
No, he was a grad transfer.
Jared.
Right.
Well, sorry, I was thinking about Isaiah Walker.
Okay.
Yeah, Jaron Williams. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. Yeah,
he is Jaron or Jared?
Jared.
Okay. Yeah. That forehead. Jesus Christ. So, I think we solidified there. So we at least have an anchor on the right side or wherever they decide to play him. And I think moving Ja'Kai Clark to the guard position, I don't know if they moved him back. But I know that moving him to the guard position, I thought that was a good thing. So, I see that we're improved. So, it is what it is. It's like you said, you're worried about it, and that's something that is probably our kryptonite. But at the same time, I could be cautiously optimistic as well because we solidified that position, some positions in there as well.
Right.
I can say I was a lot happier hearing Garen Justice being hired than I ever was when they first hired Coach Barry. That was to me like Coach Barry was an unknown to me. I didn't know a damn thing about that guy, nor did I think he could relate very well to college kids. And we saw it. I mean, it was so bad that Diaz made a change in year one. You don't like to see a new coach have to start all over on a whole side of the ball, but I mean, it was so damn bad from top to bottom that we just didn't really have a choice. But I think with Garen Justice around now, with his proven track record, at minimum, we start to see improvement week by week, and that's all we can really ask for right now. If he turns that unit into a mediocre unit in year one, he's doing a damn good job because that unit was beyond sad last year. Beyond sad. Zion Nelson should have never even sniffed the starting lineup, in my opinion. He should have never even sniffed that starting lineup. No way in hell. And with a guy like Garen Justice, that kind of stuff isn't going to happen. He's not going to look at something like that and go, oh, yeah, we can make that work. He's going to put guys out there that are going to make him look good too.
I had a question for y'all. What did y'all think about, because at the beginning of the season, they said Navon Donaldson was going to redshirt.
Right.
Now that you're getting this free year, have y'all heard anything about what he's going to do? It's almost like a free year for him.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Man, to be honest, this is the thing, like, do players buy into the system? Because, Zach McLeod, for example, he did redshirt as a senior. When you redshirt as a senior or, kind of have that green light for another year, as we've seen with grad transfers, usually they do transfer, but how much does Navon Donaldson, really buy in, to this program? I think that's going to be determined this offseason. I think if we're winning, everything's great. He'll be coming back. We'll be fine, good to go. But, hey, if this is another season like last year and there's a lot of turmoil, I don't think he comes back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time thinking on the sidelines.
Well, I'll tell you what, knowing somebody as close to him, I have no doubt that he will come back if the opportunity is there for him, like it is.
True.
You guys are saying. So, I think he's generally interested to improve his stock, and I think he has something to prove. Right. So, it's all uphill from now, and he has all off season to, nurture whatever's going on, whether it's more than just an injury. So I look forward to him coming back and, just proving everybody, the caliber of player that he can be.
Yeah.
Wait, go ahead, Don. Sorry.
No, see, I like that guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Navon Donaldson. I mean, he was I want to say 5-star recruit.
Yeah, Central, right?
Central. Yeah, and we actually, our entire coaching staff pulled up for the home visit.
I remember that. Yeah.
Just to land him.
He was highly coveted. He was one of those guys that, I mean, had he shown interest at any school, they'd have been more than happy to send him an offer, because he was just one of those guys that was supposed to be a kind of a not miss. You can't miss with this kind of guy. But damn, we haven't seen it yet. But hopefully, like you said, this year off, Garen Justice teaching him some things. Maybe he comes back and stud. I mean, if he comes back and he's just nothing but a stud. Dude, Garen Justice, man, stay as long as you want.
Yeah.
He's a good recruiter. I think he's already proven that, because Butch Berry was an awful recruiter.
Man.
I mean, getting Isaiah Walker. Well, yeah, he didn't want to. He came from the NFL where, you don't really – players come to you. You don't go out and really get guys or beg them.
Yeah, he came from the Buccaneers, right?
Yeah.
Assistant offensive line coach. Wasn't even the head offensive line coach.
He was a head coffee maker.
Yeah, seriously. I'm not quite sure why it came down to him. I don't know if we went after some other guys and we just missed. They didn't want to do it, but it seemed to me that Barry shouldn't have been the first choice. He shouldn't have been the top 3 even.
Well, you know what? That's the past, and I like to move forward from that. But, I mean, the decision was made by whoever made it, and hopefully that decision maker that made that or pushed for him, hopefully he's not here right now on the staff. I'm just saying. He's probably long gone. So, that's just what it is. I'm happy for Justice. So.
Oh yeah.
Let's roll him.
Best O-line recruit we've had since it's been a while, man. Kehoe, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, Kehoe probably. Yeah. Look at what he's done already. I mean, Isaiah Walker, Michael McLaughlin,
Jalen Rivers. Hold on. Did he recruit Jalen Rivers?
No,
that was Enos.
Not sure.
That may have been Enos.
Thankfully, we got Rivers to stick around, though. I was really glad that we got him to stick around. I didn't want him taken off or anything, because I really think we got a future stud at guard right there.
Yep.
And we have a new guest that just joined the show. We have Petri. How you doing today, sir? Thank you very much for coming on, man.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well.
Good, man. Awesome. We were basically talking about, what were our expectations against UAB, for Miami. We're just going over kind of positions we were looking out. I mean, what's your expectation going into the UAB game?
Yeah, as far as UAB goes, I'm trying to do a moderate, healthy balance of my expectations. Some people are seeing doomsday where they're like, we're going to lose to UAB, and some people are expecting us to win by 50. I don't see either one of those things happen. I see us floating around a 20 to 25 point victory, give or take. It's going to be a few touchdowns. It's going to be a comfortable win, but it's not going to be like halfway through the second quarter where we're like, this game's over, write it in the books. It's going to be a comfortable win in the end, but I don't think it's going to be a humongous blowout or a loss either way.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I think I was on the same boat as well. I think North Fresh as well. Regarding that prediction, I have 33-17. It's going to meet the spread. I think our offense is going to settle in. It's going to take a couple drives where we might even go 3 and out. Just because it's the first game of the season. Like, we didn't have a spring practice, and I'm sure there's a little bit of nerves and a new offense, new quarterback, just new teammates in general. So I think it's going to be a close game at halftime, and then Miami takes the lead just based off of talent. We shouldn't really be in a dogfight with UAB throughout 4 quarters. I mean, we're much more talented, but hey, you never know what could happen in college football.
And I think the talent is a great point that you bring up, because there was an image that was circling around that was talking about UAB has 3 All-Americans, preseason All-Americans for their conference that they're in. And somebody was making a big deal about it. I can't remember who it was, but they were making a deal out of it. Oh, okay, yeah, they got 3 preseason All-Americans. They're a pretty good team. And I'm like, bro, Miami could probably go 20-something on that same kind of thing. Based on the conference that UAB plays in, Miami's probably got 20 guys that would be on that same team where they have 3. So we should beat them. It should be comfortable by the time it's all said and done. I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to be a blowout very early. Paul, I agree with your prediction as far as like 33-17. I could totally see a 35-ish to 15-ish game.
Yeah, definitely. I really do think that. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I expect. I want to ask everyone a question. We'll start off with Don. I really value the quarterback position, the backup quarterback position, very important because, injuries do happen in the sport, but, it's got to be next man up. Who do you guys want as your backup quarterback, or who do you think will be named backup quarterback? Because it still has not been named yet.
I want I want Tyler Van Dyke, but I think it's going to be Perry just because he's got the experience. I think that's probably the safe thing to do. Manny being Manny, I know he's a little aggressive about it, but I think that in the long run, it's going to be Perry. And then I think Tyler Van Dyke will get some snaps this year if we're in a situation where we can fit him in. That'd be the smart thing to do for me, at least. So I'll say, yeah, King, Perry, and then TVD.
Gotcha. 247?
I agree. I want Perry to be the second string quarterback.
Yeah.
Just for that, I think TVD could be our third string. I don't forget about the other 2 quarterbacks that we have on the roster. I just don't. I'm not a firm believer in Tate Martell. I hope he proves me wrong.
Right.
I'll become his biggest fan if he does.
Right.
I promise to that. But I'm just, that's just my take, just to keep it short and sweet.
Petri, what do you think?
As far as what I would like to see happen, I would love it if Tyler Van Dyke could get some snaps. I really want to see him.
Yeah.
If we can figure out one thing or another against Clemson, whether we're ahead and way ahead or we're way behind, I want to see him get some snaps. I want to see him get some big-time, big game minute snaps. I'd love to see that. But what do I think is going to happen? It's going to be Kosi. Kosi's going to be QB2.
North Fresh?
I'm going with Kosi, man, and y'all can call me crazy. I know a couple people have, but I fully expect Kosi to be starting for us next year when we start off with Alabama. I fully expect him to have basically earned his stripes by then and to truly be the guy that we all hoped he could be. And I still got a lot of faith for him, man. I watched him come in with that busted offense last year. I watched him put that offense on his back and make plays in the pass game when all they were doing was guarding for the pass game. I mean, consistency, yeah, he's had some issues, but maybe this full year with, a full offseason with Lashley, a full year with Lashley, man, I expect Kosi to be our starting quarterback in our by next year and our number 2 this year for sure.
Yeah.
Didn't Lashley recruit Perry?
At where?
At Auburn, right?
At Auburn?
Yeah, when he was when Cozy was in high school, didn't Lashley recruit him? I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I'm just I've read that somewhere. I know I'm not going crazy.
I know for a while he was a Virginia Tech lean, Nkosi was, and then Mark Richt came in. I remember Rick met with him right when he got hired. That was one of the first guys that he reached out to was Kosi. But I'm sure Georgia was in that. That makes sense. He does fit their mold.
I'll have to do some fact checking on that. But
listen,
I could have sworn Lashley recruited him.
We all know that.
He had an offer from Rhett Lashley at Auburn. That's who his main recruiter was.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you.
We all know that N'Kosi Perry can absolutely play football. I mean, what was the last? I think it was Virginia Tech last year. I think it was Jaron Williams threw 3 interceptions in the first quarter, or at least it was definitely in the first half for sure. Kosi ended up leading us back. I'm sorry to open up old wounds if that did that for anybody, but I mean, if you want to take a look at it from how the remainder of the game went, apart from how it started when Jaron was under center, if you really wanted to make the argument, you could definitely say that if Kosi had been under center from the first snap, that we would have won that football game.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Right.
I think it's going to be very situational, how the backup quarterback position is played out, in my opinion. I think if we're down by a couple touchdowns and, it's fight or flight mode, I think you got to think of win now and you got to go with experience. I think that's where N'Kosi Perry comes in. As your quarterback, he's played in a lot of football games.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a ton of experience at the Power 5 level, so he does bring that. You're not going to – if you throw in a true freshman like Tyler Van Dyke, he's going to be scared. He's going to be nervous. You don't know how he's going to play his first game. But I'll tell you this, if Manny Diaz does throw in Tyler Van Dyke as his backup quarterback in if we're behind in a game, that he's sending a message saying this is my vision. Whatever happened in the past under Mark Rick's recruits last year, I'm going with my guys and we're moving forward. I think that's the message that he sends out. So it's going to be very interesting. Just that I think it's going to be interesting how he does manage the backup quarterback job, and then who's going to be potentially the starter moving forward. That's something I'm going to be looking out for. We haven't developed a freshman quarterback very nicely at Miami in a long time. Brad Kaya, in a sense, he did develop a little bit over time. There were some things he was lacking, in my opinion, but it would be nice to see a true freshman come in and really develop at the college football level.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you could attribute that to all the coaching changes that we've had. When you don't have consistency in coaches, QB coaches, offensive coordinators, that's what that leads to.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
we got to remember with Van Dyke, he's a young guy and we're coming off a really weird spring right now. And I don't know if young guys are going to be quite fully adjusted to a new offense quite yet. I mean, a guy like Perry, at least he's got that game time experience. He can go out there, they can make some things work. But having a guy like TVD out there on a weird, shortened, kind of odd preseason, I don't even know. That's one thing that I've been reading, actually, is one of the big knocks against us from the media is they're not sold that we actually were able to implement our offense enough this offseason to make it successful right away. And that's where I start to look at it and go, okay, if there's these worries, a guy like Tyler Van Dyke really, truly might not be there yet. I love his future. I love what he's got.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he's going to be there yet. I mean, see, the guys on CBS, they were I saw it earlier today, they're so worried about our offense that they had us ranked between 8th and 5th in the ACC this season. Only one guy had us ranked higher, and that was at 3rd place, all because of the offense.
You know what? The kids that we have brought in, they're underestimating us big time. Because the kids that we've brought in, there's one thing in common with all of them. They're all mature kids. I mean, Paul has had the pleasure and the opportunity to interview a lot of the kids that we've been recruiting. And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they all seem like very mature kids, very, very intelligent. So these type of kids that we're recruiting now moving forward, they all want to be Miami Hurricanes, and they all buy into the system because that's what we want truly. So I get that they have a job to evaluate, and there's a brand new offensive coordinator. There's changes in the O-line. There's question marks. There's a lot of question marks. But if they divulge into it and they start doing their research properly, they will see that we have improved in a lot of positions. And if they go back to last year, you could say 6 and 7 all you want, but we could have been, instead of 6 and 7, we were a kicker, an O-lineman, and a consistent quarterback away from being probably 9 and 3, to be honest with you.
I want to piggyback off what –
I'm just saying.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Oh no, I was gonna piggyback on what you just said, man, because you're 100% right. One of the things that you mentioned that those guys, I don't know, I didn't hear the CBS interview, obviously, but one of the good things you mentioned, and I'm sure the CBS guys didn't take into consideration, is what Lashley did from the time he stepped at SMU until last year. I live in Austin, Texas, and I remember Shane Buechele here at UT. He was trash. There's a reason he's no longer at UT up there in Dallas and SMU. I'm gonna be honest, he just wasn't good. Now, he's now probably a first or second round quarterback now coming out of college next year. So what Shane did from UT until now, it's amazing, man. He's actually made him draftable now. And so when you look at the stats from SMU from when Rhett got there until, like I said, last year, it wasn't that much of a time. It wasn't like years and years and years of establishing this offense. This has only been a few years, man. And they jumped on board. That offense turned up quick. So I don't think it's going to be that a problem in Miami.
I will say, I think that when North Fresh brings up that CBS point, what they could be referring to is the fact that, like he said, it's just a very short time to get ready. Mm-hmm. We acknowledge that we have plenty of talent coming in terms of recruits. We acknowledge that we have plenty of talent coming in terms of even transfers. But when it comes to that system, maybe there hasn't been enough time. I think that's the only thing that CBS article is saying. But then, of course, you know how it is with the national media anyway. They're going to say anything they can to devalue Miami. So, listen, we could come in the first 2 or 3 games and be scoring 40 or 45 points a game or something even close to that. And they would still say, well, we don't know. They haven't been playing anybody. So that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I do have to say, not to really hijack it, but I would be remiss to not bring up the fact that the Heat won an absolute barn burner tonight. I know we're doing Kane stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hijack it, but as far as it goes tonight, man, the Heat won an absolute just knockout, drag out. Refs were against us every second of the game.
Was it overtime?
Yeah. It was very close to over. Can I tell you, it was the craziest. It was wild. Jimmy Butler shoots almost what was going to be the game winner. He gets fouled. They rule that there was 0 seconds on the clock in the game by the time that he did get fouled, but the ball was already out of his hands. So he got to shoot 2 free throws, and the Bucks got no chance to even inbound the ball. He had to make 1 out of the 2 free throws to win it. All he had to do was make 1 of them to win the game. He made them both. Jimmy Buckets, let's go.
He's a savage. He's a savage.
I got my heat. I got my heat cap on right now.
Man.
I told y'all. So y'all know I'm from Texas, but I told all my Canes fans I'm rooting for y'all Heat now because I gotta have my Spurs stuff. My new Ginobili jersey over there, but I'm rooting for y'all, man, with this playoffs. Y'all, I'm on y'all board, y'all bandwagon right now, bros.
So no, like state of Texas loyalty. Fuck the Rockets.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, fuck the Rockets.
No, dude.
My
like
man.
In Texas,
Maverick.
We hate the Rockets and we hate the Mavericks. It's like that for real.
There you go.
If y'all were playing when y'all were playing the Mavericks in the playoffs, I was going for the Heat.
How about the Spurs?
Yeah. You know it really sucked, man, when we were playing y'all in the finals because I have all my Hurricanes fans. Y'all are Heat fans. So I was quiet. So we beat y'all one year and we got y'all and y'all beat us one year. So it's all even. That's why I love y'all, man.
All right.
I was actually having a conversation with one of my mutuals earlier. I posted a tweet where it was like talking about how my girlfriend, she asked me, she goes, do you actually like watching the games when like your team's not on? And I was like, baby, when you're a Miami Dolphins and a Miami Marlins fan, you kind of got to find some other teams that you like. So
consolation.
The Spurs are one of those teams in the NBA where you just have to they do what they do with what they have.
Yep.
They're not going to have, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. I know they had Kawhi Leonard and that ended up switching up, but they're not going to have Kawhi Leonard every single year. They're not going to have the top 5 NBA player every single year, but they do what they do with what they have.
Yep. That's it, man.
I got a question for everybody, but I want to ask it first to Paul to see if he wants to take off with it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I read somewhere that Ed Reed was with the team, not only, being involved, but he was actually coaching as well.
Yep.
Well, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I love that. I think that's someone that players respect. If they're being criticized, just as a leader, as someone, a mentor, someone to look towards. Ed Reed, he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Manny Diaz is not at all one of them. I mean, he played quarterback at Miami Country Day. That was it. When things are going down, you look for a leader, and Ed Reed is that leader. That you respect, that you hear out. Even if it's critical or positive. So. There's going to be times where Manny Diaz loses the locker room, and I hope that's Ed Reed's role, is to come in and be like, hey, I don't care if the ship's sinking, man. Like, this is the youth. We are a family. We are one team. And if we want to be successful, he's a person that was a part of the greatest times at Miami to a certain extent. It's arguable, how long you've been a fan, but that 01 team is certainly the greatest college football team of all time. He was a part of that. So he knows what it is to be great. So having Ed Reed there, I think that's awesome. And I think recruits, players, everyone around the program is only going to respond positive towards Ed Reed being there.
I think he kind of he has a caliber in mind of what Miami should be, and I don't think that he's willing to accept anything less. I know that he's willing, of course, to teach and to get guys to that point, because, we can't expect magic overnight. But Ed Reed has got a plan. Trust me. Please believe Ed Reed's got a plan. He's got an idea of what he wants to see Miami football look like again, and he's gonna do whatever he can to help us in that aspect. I think. I love the hire. It was immediately loved the hire. I don't know exactly what his future entails as far as maybe getting involved with more things with the team. I don't know if they're slowly working him in or not, but man, whatever he can do for us, like whatever he can be a part of, I want him to be part of, because he has that caliber. He's going to hold everybody to.
Yep.
You know what I like to call? I'm sorry, I didn't want to take somebody's time to speak. Go ahead.
You want to go?
Oh no, I didn't say anything. I was agreeing. Yep.
Oh yeah, no. What I think that I love the most about the Ed Reed hire is this. When a recruit or even a player looks at Manny Diaz, they say, I want to listen to this guy because I know what he's talking about. He's smarter than me. He's more mature. He knows the game, and that's all fine and well. I know it because I know it. I know it because I know it. When they look at Ed Reed, they see a guy, I have watched this guy with my own eyes play football at the highest level possible. I've seen it. I don't know it because I just know it. I know it because I've seen it with my own eyes. So when Ed Reed speaks, their ears perk up and they listen, and they know his word is bond. So that's what I love the most about the Ed Reed hire. They've seen this guy perform at the highest of the highest levels, and they know for a fact, based on what they've seen, that he knows what he's talking about.
Agreed.
He's one of those.
You know what I love about it? Go ahead.
He came in as an underranked guy. He wasn't highly sought after. That's the kind of story that we need to get building up with some of these 3-star kids we got, to show you, hey, you can come to Miami and be a middle 3-star rank. We can develop you, and we can put you in the NFL like Ed Reed, like Ray Lewis, like the rest of those guys. I hope that kind of helps to inspire some of our lower ranked recruits coming in.
Absolutely. And you know what I love about Ed Reed, the hire? And I'm just going to piggyback off of everybody right now. It's just that he's more than just football. Like, I like to call him, I don't want to sound corny or anything, but I call him like the team dad. I know it's going to sound corny to a lot of people, but, whenever you need advice from anybody there, it's kind of hard to ask the coach, but somebody has played football, lived, all the situations that are going on nowadays and stuff like that. Ed Reed is somebody that you could look up to as a kind of like a mentor. So I think that was a great tool for recruits and current players on the team. And that's what I love. It's not just about football. It's about beyond football with Ed Reed. And that's something that a lot of people don't know.
It's like having Warren Buffett, if you're a financial guy, as your mentor.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
The best of the best, the man.
It
And
fits
he's
like a
still
glove.
in your building, in your building every day.
I do want to echo what North Fresh was saying though about like the whole like we got to sell any guy who's like a 3-star on like, hey, you come to the U, you become an NFL player, because even right now, you take a look at the active NFL players by college list, and Miami's top 5 every single year. I think right now they're 3 or 4 or something like that. And then you have schools like Alabama and Ohio State that are 1 and 2, and Miami's number 3. And you sit there and you go, wow, that's actually kind of incredible when you consider the recruiting classes that Ohio State and Alabama have pulled in the last several years or so, because it almost makes you wonder, listen, these guys that go to Miami, they're going pro because they went to Miami. They're good football players, but they're going pro because they benefited from going to Miami. When it comes to Ohio State and Alabama, you're getting a bunch of 5-star and high 4-star kids that would have gone pro even if they went to Indiana State Technical Community College of the Arts. Like, they would have gone pro no matter what college they went to. They didn't benefit from going to Alabama. They played football at Alabama, and that's also just where they happen to go to class every once in a while, I suppose.
Good point.
Speaking of coaches, I feel like every year you have to reevaluate things. Is there any coach in particular, whether offensively or defensively, Miami must reevaluate how they did this past season that you can think of that may be on the chopping block? Because
Rumph is the one that pops out to me most often, honestly.
Ooh,
I mean,
yeah.
we've got a fan base that's kind of 50-50 on him. There's fans that are saying, no, he has to do, but every other unit is improving and recruiting. We have to see it from that unit as well. But then we also find out that Rumph might not be, actually doing as much recruiting as we thought he was. He's not actually as involved as we thought he was. I don't know what they do to remedy that or fix it, but I would like to see that get taken care of, because if Band is going to keep killing it at safety, we got to have something there to back it up with the cornerbacks and stuff too. I think Rumph would be the one to watch out for in that talk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I would say Baker, defensive coordinator. There were several games last year where we fell behind very early, whether it be 17 points, 10 points. It was 17 Chapel Hill. I know VTech, it was 21. There were a couple of games where we fell behind at crucial moments where you're like, wow, we really need to stop the bleeding or just literally get a stop. And It didn't happen. And then at some point, Manny decided to play the CEO that he is. He didn't want to step on Baker's toes in the first half, or didn't want to step on his toes early and micromanage, but he took control, and then the defense straightened out in the later parts of the game. That's something that really is concerning, because I know Manny's the head coach, but man, you really don't want to have to babysit the defensive coordinator.
Right. And the thing is like everyone on the defensive side of the football is like from Manning's coaching tree. Like Baker, Coach Banda, Coach Packey, Todd Stroud, they coached together at NC State. Like, that's the thing. Like, people say like, hey, Al Golden never fired D'Onofrio. Like, how do we know Manny's going to – if it comes to the point where we need to improve as a defense, can he get rid of, certain position coaches? Personally for me, Coach Packey, I don't think his resume fits the Power 5 level at Miami specifically. That job, special teams has been god-awful. For quite a while at Miami. There was a time where we took pride in special teams. We were very good. We were probably one of the best in the nation. Not anymore. Linebacker play, I don't think it's really developed at all. We saw with the Quartermans, the Pickneys, the McLeods, there hasn't been really development there. Hopefully these young guys can come in and there can be change. But, Packey's a guy for me who I'm looking at where we can probably bring in an elite recruiter and someone who's played the linebacker position at an elite level, has a better resume than Coach Packey,
Is there anybody on the offensive side that we're worried about? I mean, because we have a whole new system. So, we have all brand new coaches. Are we all feeling pretty confident that this group is going to be going into the future with us the next 2 or 3 years too?
I think it needs to be. I think you need to maintain a staff to be successful, like we've seen at other programs such as Clemson, for example. The in and out, the turnover isn't healthy for a program. Only the Alabamas can get away with that. That's because they're so elite. To have a new OC every year. So I think you need to maintain your staff, and which is what we've seen defensively, in a sense. But offensively, I think you need to maintain that staff.
We got to be prepared, though. If Lashley comes out and he does what Lashley does, it's not going to be long until a mid-major is going to be calling him for a head coaching job. So that's going to be something we need to watch out for, because he's at that age and he's a bright dude who's got a bright future. I still see head coaching in his future as a possibility.
Here's the thing about go ahead, Petri. Sorry.
Dude, I was going to say a mid-major. I mean, what was the guy who just got offered the position for the Carolina Panthers? I think it was with Oklahoma last year.
Joe Brady.
It's like
from LSU.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. So it's like, man, you have the OC position 1 year. Next thing you know, you're in the NFL. So a mid-major might not always even be the thing. There's going to be NFL teams that think they have the next Joe Brady or whatever the case may be, and they're going to toss a little bit of NFL money at him, and then he's going to be faced with a tough decision.
Right. And that's one thing, like, I understand, like, the NFL opportunity because that's the professional level, but Miami, they can't go cheap with this staff. You got to invest money if you want to compete with the big dogs. And I think we've seen that in the past, kind of going a little bit cheap with hires, not investing fully in your coaching staff. Randy Shannon, they did not invest at all into his assistant coaching staff. The Al Golden hire was very cheap, very lackadaisical. They dropped a little bit of money for Mark Richt and his staff. But I want to see a lot of money being invested into our assistant coaches so they can return. Because like you said, Rhett Lashley, he may not take a mid-major head coaching job if he's getting paid very well at Miami. So that's something I need to see from, the athletic department and the university as a whole. It's a lot more than just Blake James saying we want to invest more.
But don't forget that Likens and Justice were both offensive coordinators before. I think that's one of the things that made their hires really good. They're proven recruiters. They've done great jobs, really, at recruiting their positions. They've called plays in the past, both at a pretty high level. So we could have some continuity there.
Manny didn't have one single coach he could go to on that sideline last year and discuss offensive problems when they had him. I mean, we were going to go talk to Enos about the damn offense. He was watching it every week. He knew damn well Enos didn't know what the fuck he was doing. But
is everybody going to get blocked by Enos? Who's not blocked by Enos? Raise your hand.
Oh man, dude, I've tried, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've low-key kind of tried. So I actually have that white and green visor that he wore every week. I bought that because I thought it was a dope piece of merchandise, right? So I bought it. And you guys know, you can see I'm the white guy, skinny. I got the glasses. You know what I'm saying? So I wear that visor, and I look like Dan fucking Needle Dick Enos.
You have that crappy play card with no laminated on it.
Oh my god,
bro! Honestly, I almost want to do it for Halloween. Just like get a black garbage bag and hang it over my head like a shitty looking poncho, and just take a dumb flash card like a note card and rinse it in paper or rinse it in water, and then walk around with a floppy piece of paper like this all night for Halloween. Hey, look, I'm Dan stinking Enos.
Fourth down.
Fourth down. No, that was fucking fourth down, double reverse sweep to the weak side, halfback pass option to the opposite wide receiver. Dude, what are you doing?
I got a headache.
The craziest thing was, like, the first drive against Florida was like,
man.
I was like, this is it. This is it.
We had motion. We had
and then started.
Motion, we had power. We had it all that first drive. I don't know what the hell happened. It's like he got scared to hell. Like, oh, whoa, this is too good. We got to slow down.
And then 4 minutes left in the first quarter. He didn't call a damn play from that drive the whole rest of the season. The whole rest of the season, he didn't call the same play.
Dude, I mean, and then too against Louisville, like, we actually, we didn't go under center. Like, we ran like a pistol formation, and we were successful. Like, where was that? Why did we stop doing that? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why is it so simple for us to acknowledge things? And then, is it just cockiness? Not being humble enough to just understand it's not working out. Let's fix things.
I don't know, man. It was so bad. Part of me makes me a little questionable with Manny is like I said earlier, Manny allowed all of that to happen. I mean, whether he's the offensive coordinator or not, that all happened under his watch as the head coach, and he wasn't really going to Enos and demanding major changes because we didn't see major changes on the field.
Right.
I'm hoping with guys like Garen Justice and Likens around, they can kind of be the ones on the sideline going, this isn't when you do this, or this is how you do this. This is when you call a timeout in this situation. This is when you don't call a timeout in this situation. Hopefully those guys really give him a big advantage there because, man, that offense and Manny Diaz so far does not click.
247 Shit, man.
There you go.
Is this I know you got your project on the side. Is this kind of the opening debut of what you're going to talk about? Do you want to go promote it right now?
That's up to you, man. It's hard to talk with this mask on.
All right, so basically 247 Canes, he's creating a website called hurricaneshuddle.com. It's going to be a forum base. He's basically going to go to high school games, do scouting reports. He's going to upload my videos as well from his channel, and it is a GOAT, I guess is his logo. So, because he considers himself the greatest of all time. So, 247.
Do you have an account on Twitter yet?
Can't wait
Yes,
to
I
see
do.
it.
It's 247 Canes on Twitter.
Oh, okay, same thing.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So,
Is that website going to be up pretty soon?
Yes, in about a week.
Nice.
Dope.
I want to check that out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
One last question before we wrap it up tonight. This is Manny Diaz's second year, man. If we're in a shootout with UAB, are those red flags? Should we be nervous if it's a tight, close game against UAB? How much pressure should be on Manny Diaz this upcoming season where he just gets a free pass? It's been one hell of a year, for anyone this offseason. So what do you guys think about that? Is it all in 2020 or, are we just kind of preparing for Alabama and giving him a free pass?
I think he's going to get a free year anyway, man, because of everything going on with COVID and stuff.
Right. Did we lose? Fuck. What the hell happened?
Doesn't go out and just absolutely spank. I'm talking. I shouldn't say absolutely spank. We need to win by 15 plus. That's not even. It needs to be like a non-negotiable win. Let me put it this way. We need to win by 17. Two touchdowns.
Yeah.
Two touchdowns and a field goal. We need to win by at least 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I always say like a lead is not safe in football until it at least gets to 17 because that is 2 touchdowns and a field goal or 2 touchdowns with the 2-point conversion both times and you're still ahead. You need to be at least ahead by 17. We need to beat UAB by 17 plus, definitely. Right. Less than that, and I'm disappointed.
I agree. I completely
agree. Just get the win. That's all I care about. Just get the win and give some youngsters some playing time. I don't care if we win by 30 or we win by 5.
Really?
24/7. You're not worried if we win by 2, it comes down to them missing a field goal in the end?
No, it's the first game of the season. I expect it, with the limited amounts of snaps that they've been able to take, I'm not worried. We'll get better.
Well, we got Louisville the next week, so we better be ready to go. We better get better because we can't lose to Florida State because we'll lose a lot of recruits in the state of Florida moving forward. My internet done again. Fucking A. Why is it doing
Everybody's clowning him like, wow, you guys look little, you guys look slow, you guys look fat and out of shape. They see all these videos and everybody talking smack, and we all make our little comments online like, oh, recruits aren't looking at social media. They are. They're definitely looking at social media. They see Florida State looking embarrassing. Miami looks bad. I don't know. We need to be 3-0 going into Clemson. Let me put it that way.
Agreed.
I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised with the slow first half against UAB. That won't shock me. But I would expect to see a 180 after halftime. I would expect to see us put gas on that fire and really take off. That 17 points, like you were saying, 17, to me, that's a solid number. But I'd love to see us get, get up 25 plus on them or something like that. If we can fulfill that, I think it's a big deal for us going forward. I really do. I mean, we need some confidence. We need something to instill confidence in all of these players, because everyone coming back from last year is still coming back from last year. They were all part of that shit. So we really need to get some confidence going forward.
Yeah. Especially going right into Louisville, because we play at Louisville the following week. So, yeah, I agree. We need some confidence.
ACC is going to be tough, man. Those guys come to play us for some teams, playing us is like playing their Super Bowl. They act like beating Miami is like beating 1999, 2000 Miami. They still rush the field, you know? So, I mean, we got to be expected that this ECC schedule is going to start. It's going to start in a hurry, and they're going to want to take our heads off.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add, man, that you just want to happen this upcoming season, you know, just that you want to see as a fan, that we've been waiting for a while? Anything else for this?
I want to see elite quarterback play, man. I really do. It's time. It's really time. It's time.
I think the popular answer, if you asked in a broad stroke kind of a way, most Canes fans are going to say, we just want to see the offense. We want to see offense. We want to see points on the board.
Yep.
I want to see yards. I don't want to see my quarterback going like 17 for like 30 and a touchdown or so and some like 180 or 200 yards. We want to see 300 something yards. We want to see 2 or 3 touchdowns, make it happen, throw the ball, get it down the field. We want to see offense, generally speaking, at least.
I know the one thing that I want to see, no matter what, is I want to see swag, baby. I want to see swag back full out. I want to see Miami Hurricanes look like the Miami Hurricanes. I want to see pride in our football team again. I want these guys to walk around with their head held up high and know when they get off the bus or get off the plane that the team playing them is scared to play them. I want to get back to that. I want to see swag, baby. Swag.
247, man. You got anything else?
Yeah, I want to see that chain come out like never before. I want to see that chain come out every single possession that it can come out. I want to see the rings too.
All right, last question for everyone, then we'll wrap it up. Who scores the first touchdown for the University of Miami 2020 season?
Cam
Harris?
Yeah. That's a good
Petrie?
one. Brevin Jordan.
Jordan? Oh, wow. Okay. Very nice.
Brevin Jordan. Put him right over the middle. Take it to UAB's chin. Put it right in the end zone. Go up 6 zip quick. Brevin Jordan.
247?
I'm gonna go completely oddball. I'm gonna say Gervin Hall, pick 6.
Shit.
Ooh.
North Fresh?
Man, I'm going to go a little opposite of these guys, too. I'm going to say we call a design run for De'Aaron King from about 6-7 yards out.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's actually that. I had the similar one. I'm going to say 20 yards in the red zone.
Okay.
The red zone. But yeah.
So still De'Aaron King.
De'Aaron King.
I'm writing this down, y'all. I'm writing this down.
And the best part, man, I think about season predictions is that like none of it really comes true. Then the season is just the most random amount of events that no one predicted happen. So that's why I love season predictions and looking back at it all, man. So thank you so much, guys, for joining the show tonight. Greatly appreciated. Don, Petrie, 247 Canes, man. Thank you so much, guys, and have a blessed and safe rest of your night.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Yes, sir.